Hi, my name is Abby and I'm a PhD student. My area of research is looking to understand how a specific type of immune cell, called a natural killer cell, works in cattle to detect viral infection, and how genetics can play a role in how well this process works. So in particular, my research focuses on a type of receptor called KIR, and we look at this because in humans these are really important for NK cells, and we have the same receptors in cattle. So the hypothesis was, are these performing the same function in cattle as they are in humans? So my average day can be quite variable. Sometimes I have desk days where I'm sat at my desk, I'm maybe analysing data that I've already generated, I might be writing things up into format for my thesis or for papers. And other days I'll be in the lab, I'll be doing experiments and loads of different types of experiments, so no 2 days are exactly the same. And most days it's actually a mix of both. I grew up in the Scottish Highlands from a farming family background, so the agricultural interest was always there for me from quite a young age. I did my undergraduate in genetics and immunology at the University of Aberdeen, and during that time I went on an industrial placement year. So I left university for a year and with the support of my university worked for MedImmune, who are now part of AstraZeneca. And I did a year's research project. It was my project, focused on that. And it was really nice to be able to take that project, really make it my own and see it from start to finish. So that really got me interested in the research aspect of science a lot more and understand how science really works in the real world. And then came back to uni, finished off there, and my PhD project came up in my final year, applied for that, and here I am. I think what really appealed to me about doing a PhD was the idea that I would have a research project, it would be mine, and I would follow where the science took me for the 3 to 4 years that I was researching it, and I really liked that idea of being able to see it from start to finish. For me, it was also the next logical career step. I was thinking about maybe going into lecturing in a university setting alongside doing researching. And for that, a PhD is a good training step for going into that career afterwards. I think the first thing to say with PhDs and Pirbright is that all PhDs are challenging in their own way. They're meant to challenge you so you can progress. For me, I've had a really nice ride doing my PhD. It's not been without challenges, but being at the institute and being in the team that I'm in has made attacking those challenges so much easier because I've got a really supportive environment around me. I know that I've got a network of colleagues and fellow PhD student and friends that I can go to and troubleshoot or bounce ideas off or even just sound off to if I've had a really frustrating day. So for me, the whole process has been made so much easier by having that network in place. One of the biggest things I've got involved with as a student at Pirbright is the outreach opportunities. So going out to schools, going out, meeting members of the public and getting to explain our research and my research to them. And I really enjoy that. I find it really rewarding. I find it really fun, because you get to interact with loads of different people, you get to think about your research in a different way and really try and translate what you're doing in the lab to why people should care about what you're doing when they don't work in science. I think my favourite events have got to have been when we went to Cheltenham for the Science Festival, because there's just such a big buzz. I was also given the opportunity to organise Pirbright's delegate that went to the Big Bang Fair for Surrey, which again was an amazing opportunity for me to get involved to as a student and help me get a kind of project management aspect outside of science, which was really good fun. Pirbright's given me a lot of amazing training opportunities in terms of translational skills, so presenting, leadership skills, dealing with different types of people, communication. But I think the biggest and best training opportunity that I've had being at Pirbright was getting the opportunity this year to supervise an undergraduate placement student, which for me has been really nice because it's like it's come full circle. I've been there, I've been that placement student, and now I'm in a slightly more responsible position getting to help another student have their first year in research, and having people around me who can help me step into those kind of supervisory shoes has been a really great opportunity for me. The biggest piece of advice I can give you if you're thinking of applying for a PhD studentship is to really, really love the subject that you're going to study, because it helps with your enthusiasm, it helps with your motivation, and when things get tough, it makes the challenges a lot easier to overcome if you genuinely do like what you're studying. You're going to be doing this for 4 years, so you have to like it. I came into this because I loved the project, and 3.5 years later, I still genuinely love my project, even though it's thrown me a lot of curveballs. So that's my most important bit of advice. One day, I think it would be really nice to have my own lab where I can be managing a bigger aspect of a research project and helping other people follow their science. But I think one of the big things that I would love to achieve, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not, would be to see some of my research translate into something that would really make an impact for people I know, the community that raised me back home in farming, something that eventually ends up on farms. And yeah, you know what, that might be in 50 years' time, it might be in 60 years' time once I've retired. But I think that would be a huge achievement if something I helped with made a difference on the ground to people I knew. My favourite thing about being a scientist is getting to see something develop in front of your eyes. You're given a research project, you start working on it, and sometimes it works out the way you think it's going to, and sometimes it doesn't, and it's all part of the fun. Yes, it can be frustrating, but it's still my favourite bit because it's really rewarding because you're figuring out this massive puzzle as you go along. Doing a PhD at Pirbright has been some of the best years of my life, and I'm not saying that cheesily. I genuinely love being a PhD student here. It's a massive community where everybody is happy to help out and lend a hand. There's a big network of students that we all get on and have good fun together. So it's a really nice environment to do a PhD in and take that next step in whatever scientific career you want to go into next.